The Backrooms movie trailer dropped yesterday, and as a fan of the lore, I have some thoughts, and I'd love to know if you agree or disagree with any of these. Initially, I was a little skeptical of the trailer and its presentation. It felt a little Hollywoody to me, with the cryptic voiceover. I know now that it's a therapist talking to her patient, and to be honest, I can forgive this because it's likely designed to reach a wider audience. Because as popular as the Backrooms is, I feel like it's mostly limited to gamers or a niche section of the internet who has taken a strong liking to it. Most of the people I talk to in real life have no idea what I'm talking about when I mention it, so this makes sense to me. The thing that really gives me hope is the fact that it's directed by Kane Pixels, the guy who popularized the entire concept with his YouTube web series. I basically binged his entire channel and have to say that I've enjoyed everything he puts out. The film is scheduled to release on May 29th, so not long from now, but there has been very little in terms of marketing materials other than the trailer itself, a movie poster, and some set photos that have been seen on Reddit. With that being said, here are the things I really hope they include in the film. First off, I hope they have more than just level 0. I'm almost 100% certain this will be the case, as watching a movie that takes place in the same yellow hallway is bound to drive anyone bonkers. I know there are some Backrooms purists out there who say the notion of levels goes against the entire idea of the original post, but for my own sanity, I hope there's more. Specifically, I really want to see some version of level 94, with the outdoor, grassy hills and houses, as well as the pool rooms, as those have always been my favorite locations. And can we just take a moment to acknowledge how wild it is that all of this originated from an anonymous 4chan post on a picture of an empty furniture store? The other day, someone on my stream mentioned that the wallpaper poster, the one that's being sold for the movie, seems too expensive, but my thought process was that if any of that original furniture store wallpaper still existed, I bet it would go for hundreds, if not thousands, as a collector's item. I would also like to see there be a minimal emphasis on monsters or entities, or if there are, just don't show them too frequently on screen. I'm fairly certain there will be entities in this film, as it's directly tied to the canon of Kane's other Backrooms projects, which do contain entities, but sometimes those elements can be used as cheap scares, and I think where the Backrooms really thrives is in the overwhelming sense of loneliness it instills. Which brings me to my last point. Beyond the Backrooms themselves, I think the film should color the real-life narrative with a sense of nostalgia. Based on stills from the movie set, it looks like the film will take place in the 80s or 90s, similar to the web series. In fact, I'm going to take a wild guess and say that this movie is the beginning, when the Backrooms are first discovered, before mysterious corporate entities try to create portals to access it. But what I mean is that there should be some element of relatability for the audience. A death of the past, if you will. There's a lot happening in the world right now, and I've always felt that the Backrooms represented an escape from all the noise, both online and offline, albeit it's an eerie escape. I'm curious if this contrast will be present at all. Now to my concerns. The IMDb page features a pretty sizable cast of actors. How are they all going to fit into the narrative? Part of the allure of the Backrooms is the fact that the protagonist is always alone. Besides the offhand entity and communication with disembodied voices, how will a balance be struck between traditional story structure and the essence of what makes liminal spaces intriguing? The concepts work well in a short film, but in 2 hours or more, I'm not so sure, especially if A24 wants to win over a larger audience who isn't already familiar with the Backrooms. Doubts aside, I have tremendous faith that Kane will have done a fantastic job, as this is a passion project for him. And looking at the bigger picture here, I want to see more films like this made. There's been an ongoing conversation about how Hollywood has become stagnant and tone deaf, and I believe films like this and Markiplier's Iron Lung are a representation of a major shift in the creative industries. Back in the day, you were either a movie actor or a TV actor. Lately, it's been you're either a serious actor or a silly content creator. As someone who is proudly both, emphasis on the silly part, I'm very excited to see that divider being broken as well. So now the only thing left to do is wait, and if you're not familiar with the Backrooms already, now is the perfect time to get up to speed before the film is released. I highly encourage you to watch Kane Pixel's Backrooms series here on YouTube, and if you're a gamer like me, the Complex Expedition is the definitive experience in my opinion. However, there are some amazing Backrooms games out there if you search far and wide enough online. If you'd actually like to see Backrooms gameplay live, I stream Mondays and Fridays, and if you ever want to chat more about it, you can always hit me up in our community server, link down below in the description.